it's a softwood, obviously, but it puts out enough heat where it's not intense, but I can have the air be out all the way and just have it go. And welcome back to another episode of Travis Does Firewood. We have a delivery today. First off, a Happy New Year. You'll be seeing this a few days after the New Year, so Happy New Year. Hope that you had a good 2023, and that you're able to start fresh and anew for 2024. So Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. I hope that all went well the last few weeks. So jumping into a new year, a new round of firewood season, even though the winter spans obviously in from the end of one year into the beginning of the next year. It's kind of odd in terms of sales to track it, etc. But yeah, so we have a delivery today. We during the cold season, I try to donate from my own like stockpile of wood to a family or household in need. There's a family in the next town over who is new homeowners, and I would say they're not in dire need of wood, but they bought the punky wood from me and bought some other wood that was cheaper from me. So we're gonna donate an ICB tote worth of some cookie fur to them. Totally free of charge, because I have the wood, and just to kind of share the wealth and make sure that my neighbors are warm. So before I do that, I need to check the moisture in there. Before that, let's change out the prongs. Let's go in the garage here in the mess. So right here we have my moisture meter. If you kind of see, I don't know if you can see that or not, the prongs are bent, which is a bummer. It doesn't give like an accurate reading. And when you buy, at least for this brand, this type, I think probably others will have something similar. They come with replacement prongs. They're in the end case, and they're, you can see that or not. But when you go to undo the packaging, you see these, but then you put them somewhere safe, but then you have to remember, where did I put the replacement prongs? So I randomly found these the other day in my shed. So I'm like, well, let's replace them. So let's do that real quick. All right, so this is the first time I've done this, so hopefully this won't be too difficult. I'm just gonna have my needle nose pliers here to, I think, to unscrew. I'm gonna just lightly start to unscrew these prongs. Yep, that just kind of spins, unscrews lefty loosey here. Right here, there's one, and unscrew the next one. All right, so these two are the old ones, and I think you can see how they're bent, right? So I've been definitely testing some harder wood, so harder firewood. Try to unpackage these new ones, or the fresh ones here. Oh yeah, these are definitely sharper. So definitely hang on to the replacement prongs when you get a new moisture meter, and put it somewhere safe. Put it next to like your hand files for your chain, or someplace else, so you know it's going to be something that you're going to remember where it's at, so you don't. So when you do bend the prongs, I don't know if it's a big occurrence or happens a lot for people, but I don't know. So these are the new ones. So I want to compare the new fresh point prong and the bent one. I think you can kind of compare and see. Definitely duller here, and then the bend compared to these ones. So let's put these fresh ones on. Just gonna screw this on top. So I think the gist of these meters would be the same for most models, makes of models, I assume. And we're just gonna tighten it up a little bit with my needle nose. Alright, so now we have a fresh moisture meter. So I went to Harbor Freight the other day to pick up a few of their small moisture meters, the ones that take like the small like watch type battery, just to have a few more moisture meters around. And I go there and they're sold out. They weren't gonna have any more for like several weeks, so it's nice to have a few. I mean, I've said this a few times in my videos. It's nice to have a few moisture meters around to make sure that when you need one, right now, right? But so I went there and they were sold out. So hopefully they'll come back in a few weeks and I'll buy like 2 or 3, so we have them around the yard. So this is my fur pile, and I thought I had pieces that were like 10 and 13 ish, but I think I put them in the other pile that I depleted that was over here. Now it's maple and other such, but I had that row you saw a few videos ago of like smaller pieces, and I think I separated them in terms of sizes. So I guess all I have left are these chunks. These are bigger ones of fur, and again I think I cut them big on purpose, so I had enough for my rack wood. But I guess I'm gonna tap into this. This is the older stuff on the end here. Tap into this first. So let's break out the moisture meter. I just measured these. These are at like between 15 and like 17 in terms of length. So let's see how this goes. Nice fresh prongs. What is that? 14 plus 2. 14.5 plus 2. 13 something plus 2. Let's go this one. 13.4 plus 2. This one. Yeah, those nice fresh prongs are nice. 13.6 plus 2. So all this is definitely dry, even though it's my cover for it is not very good. But this is good to go. We're gonna load up the tote in the back of the truck, and I'll back in. I have this space now where I think I can back in almost to this pile and load it up. So I'll be throwing in loose, not stacked. I'll try to keep it as much as possible. Then we'll tie it down, and that will be, I guess, a little bit less than a 1/3 of a cord. But yeah, so let's get on it. Well, she got back there. Only a 3-point turn, but yeah, I made it. It's nice having the space to back in here with the truck. I don't think a trailer would fit in here, but in terms of like loading, offloading, I think that's nice having this width between this pile and that pile there. So without further ado, let's load up some fur. sure how much that you saw I got of that, but the load is in. The load is in. The person who we're, you see that? The person who we are delivering to is aware. We're just going to dump it at our house. Her husband is sick today, so he won't be able to help me unload, which is fine. And since this is free, it's not a big deal in terms of like money exchanging, because there's no money to be exchanged. So I hope that they can get to the wood soon, because I've heard stories when you drop wood in the front driveway or front yard of a house, and people, if it's not tended to or not stacked or put away, people will come and take the wood. So I hope that's not the case. So with this pile here, I forgot what was here. Honestly, it's kind of hard to keep track of what wood is what, but this row is all rack wood. See how it's the kind of bigger pieces, and behind there, these look to be bundle wood. This is bundle wood here. So I got this this row of bundle wood, this row here of nice small pieces of bundle wood. So that's nice that I have this bundle wood here. I may, instead of having to chop into this front pile, which I've done before to make bundle wood, I'll just come back here and use these pieces for my bundles. So that's nice. So I gave them a mix of both bigger chunks and bundle pieces here, so they have a mix of each for their wood stove. So let's wrap this up and we'll go down there. So I'm gonna talk while I'm driving again. I know it's not that safe, but I want to chat for a second. I took my wife out to dinner for her birthday yesterday, and I didn't realize that I am super low on gas. So we need to get gas before we make this delivery in the next town over, because I'm definitely on E. So we are gonna go get some fuel. I want to point out, I think maybe a few of you are scratching your head like, why would you give away free wood to people? Like, you spend all that time and energy, gas in terms of your chainsaw and your bar oil, and just to give it away for free. And you know, I mean, you have a point. Yes. I should have gone the other way. And I'm sure maybe this is similar. So my answer to that, or a response, is maybe similar to how thieves feel about when they take firewood from my firewood stand. They could know how much wood I have in my backyard and say, hey, well, I mean, he can afford to have me steal this wood because he has so much in his yard. I mean, yes, I have a lot of wood. Definitely more wood than I probably had ever in the wood yard, in the backyard. But that's beside the point. In terms of having to take the wood, it's the principle of it, right? It's not like, I mean, all the hard work, energy, like I just mentioned, like that's worth something. But in terms of community service, I'll link a video up here of an episode that I did on that, and it's basically to share the wealth. Sorry, the sun. To share the wealth of what you have, especially during the winter time. I mean, there's like Thanksgiving and Christmas and Giving Tuesday, where people will donate food or clothing or gifts for kids or and the like. And my daughter, with her own money, bought one of her good friends at school some gifts for Christmas to give to her, because her family has fallen on hard times. So it's not like I'm patting myself on the back with myself or my family being generous. It's one of those things is to not be, and it's not about being greedy all the time with people who don't give away free firewood. But I myself, in terms of my ethics and morals. I want to make sure that my neighbors are warm, and that's, and I mentioned in the video, is that's why I like the firewood stand, because people who can't afford a face cord or a cord of wood, either monetarily or space-wise, they can't afford that much wood to house it, but they can afford, blinker, sorry, they can't afford a $5 bundle of firewood, and that will keep them warm through a night, or maybe half a night or an afternoon, and they can, and that's doable. So so to kind of make sure to help out my neighbors, if I can, so we'll donate this wood. This is gonna be, it would have been, it's a soft wood, so it would have been 90 a cage, and then delivery fee for this location is 25, so 115 for the delivery, but it's gonna be free because I want to help out people as I'm doing the side hustle. So yeah. So wood is dropped. Hope that they will, the family who got the wood, hope that they stay warm in the next few weeks or month with that wood. I'm not sure what other wood they have, but yeah, they were telling me that they were burning pallet wood, which is fine, but you have to know what you're looking at and what you are getting from places, either like construction sites or behind stores, etc. Because a lot of those pallets, if they're traveling overseas, they'll have marks, and they'll have chemicals in them. Sorry, guy, I had to crosswalk here. They have chemicals in the wood, and that's not good to burn inside. I've done it before by mistake, and you definitely can smell it in the air in your house. Outside, sure, why not? But in terms of pallet wood, you have to do your research. If there's any markings on the wood that's like, it was like branded on the wood, or like painted on with the stencil, you have to make sure that you're burning pallet wood that is not treated with any chemicals. Now, that's my 2 cents. I have wood, obviously a lot of it, and I don't need to burn pallet wood, but I know a lot of people, they burn what they can. They burn what they can, and that's okay. There's no judgment there at all. But if you're gonna burn wood like that, just be careful. To be careful of the wood, so you're not harming yourself or your family in burning the type of wood. Now, in terms of nails, yeah, you're gonna have a bunch of nails in the pallet wood, and I mean, you can take the time to take the nails out, yeah, but is it necessary? I don't think so. I think a lot of people out there have this myth in their head that the hot nails or screws from the pallets, whatever bolts that you may have, will explode in your fireplace as they get hot. I don't think that's the case. I mean, I've burned lumber in the backyard, big bonfires, and I've burned pallet wood before, or even pieces of wood. As you saw in my most recent video, I'll link it here. I found a bunch of metal in those cedar rounds. I hope that you saw the episode. And yes, I could have left it in there, but there's some in there that I could not get all of it, like that bracket you saw. And yeah, you can burn that inside. It'll be hot, And then if you want to, when you're discarding the ash, you could take a magnet and take all that out, but it's not required. And if you make sure that if you're going to use a magnet, you're gonna probably get a lot of iron if it's a lot of metal in the wood or whatever, so your magnet's gonna be all full. So anyway, the point of that little rant is, if you're gonna burn pallet wood, be careful. So yeah, it's the next day from the delivery. And so yeah, last night was New Year's Eve, and today is New Year's Day, so holiday, but you won't be seeing this for a few days afterwards. But the firewood stand was depleted last night, made a little over $100 in sales last night, which is nice. People, because it was clear and cold last night here in my area, so I think people had like pit fires or whatever in their backyard, etc. So I think that was why sales kind of picked up. People wanted to celebrate, obviously, the new year, and there was a bunch of fireworks that went off in our area last night. But when I went out there this morning and noticed 2 of the firewood bundles gone. Checked the cash box, nothing. Venmo didn't have anything. So I looked at my camera feed. It didn't pick anything up, but I'm pretty sure I got two firewood bundles stolen last night, and I don't know why the camera didn't pick up the motion, because it was on the driveway side of the stand. So that's a bummer. So I mean, to take advantage of on a holiday eve is messed up, and it's definitely not people in dire need of firewood. I think it's like crackheads. It's just people who are just not good people, which is very unfortunate. So we had a good year in 2023 for sales. Definitely did not hit my goal of what I wanted to sell, but definitely more than what I sold and made last year. Went through my spreadsheet, figured out some expenses of things I bought. Wasn't as much as the year before, which is fine, it's good. So a good pocket money, good beer money, some cash around the house when we don't want to use the cards. So yeah, so that was nice. So it's one thing to talk about sales. I want to talk about real quick the wood that was stolen now, and that's wood at the firewood stand. And I know we cannot agree on how I go about the firewood stand. I don't want to close the firewood stand. I would like to have it be open. Sorry, I'm trying to get some more wrap to make bundles. I want to make sure that the stand is open 24/7 and not close it. You know, I don't want to babysit it. I want it just to work. And I know I complain. Sorry, footage. I know I complain about theft, and it's a bummer, but I don't have a solution that is reasonable, efficient, and effective as of right now. So I will just, I guess, complain about it, or just to keep you updated. Now, I have tried to track the theft and amount of quantity and money that could have been in my pocket, but it's hard sometimes when you're like, I mean, for those of you who have a roadside stand, like I do, you kind of have you kind of know like a gist of what is there in terms of your inventory at the stand. Now, since it's dual-sided, I don't always go to the other side, the bush side, to kind of check it out, but I can kind of glance at it from time to time and kind of get a, because usually people buy from the driveway side and not go to the other side, and I try to, if there's bundles sold from the driveway side, I try to replenish that section from the bush side of the firewood stand, if that makes sense. So people know that there's firewood to be available. Granted, there are different firewood available on each side, kind of. It varies in terms of section, but it's all obvious in terms of the signage, right? But, so, in my tracking in the last year, 2023, more or less, we've had just shy of $200 worth of wood stolen from the stand. And that's only at the stand, because wood that, if I deliver wood, if I do, I would get paid before I would offload it. So there wouldn't be any theft there. Theft is only going to be at the firewood stand. So it's not pennies, but that's enough to it's an issue, and it varied throughout the year. I think there's more during the winter months than summer, and that's with people paying in different currency. Like I got some Canadian money one time. People would grab the wood but not pay, either not pay at all, or they would pay a portion of the total. And I don't the signage, I mean, even with my old signs to my new signs, I thought it would be intuitive and obvious, but apparently some people don't understand what the signage means with the sections. But I guess people thought it was okay to pay, like if they bought 2 firewood bundles, that would have been 5 each, so 10 total, and they paid me like 7. Like, they paid me something, right, but not the full amount. So that's why the total stolen is not a round number. It's not like an odd number. It's like an odd one. So I don't know what's worse, people stealing wood and not paying at all, or, I mean, I guess it's obvious. It's worse if they just steal it and not pay at all, but it is weird and bad if they only pay like a partial amount. It's all they had in their pocket, whatever, at the time. Well, if you can't afford firewood, then don't buy firewood, or have a sign out on the firewood bundles that says this is not free, and if you need help with wood, let me know. And every time people will bypass that section, or they'll read the sign, put it aside, and still take the wood. Like, the camera signs don't work. Me flashing the lights, turning them on and off at the stand, maybe doesn't work. And that sign saying this is not free wood does not deter people from taking my wood. So it's unfortunate. The ratio between wood purchased at the stand versus wood stolen, I still feel this is a worthwhile venture to continue it as a side hustle. I'm not sure how much I want to grow in production, but I just wanted to mention that is there, and that's the amount from my spreadsheet that what I've seen and tracked. It could be a little bit more, it could be a little bit less, but from per memory, what I've had on my records, that's the amount that was stolen, just shy of $200, which sucks. Looking forward to 2024. Now I think a lot of us are setting goals, but maybe a few of us aren't setting goals. Just letting it roll with sales, production, how many bundles you want to sell, how many cords, how many face cords you want to sell. Goals aren't for everyone, but I think for some of us it keeps up the motivation for firewood. So I think I may keep to the same goal that I had at the beginning of 2023 and see if I can hit it. Now to hit it, I think I need to change my my approach. I think I need to branch out. I think I'm gonna go to approach the local hardware store and see if they are interested in selling my mini solo bundles of firewood that I have. They have not been a money maker at my firewood stand, and I really don't know why. I thought it would take off. I mean, you buy these smokeless fire pits for your patio. They were selling in hardware stores, they're selling them at Costco, and but you need the firewood. You need firewood to burn it, and to take the time to split down a piece of wood or cut it small enough to fit in those little dinky burners. I mean, and then I spent the time to make the bundles, but they didn't really take off. Putting them on Marketplace and OfferUp, people thought that I was selling the Mini Mesa solo stove for $5. Like, no, if you read the ad, I'm not gonna, well, why would you sell a $75 whatever stove for $5? Like, you can't read. It's Marketplace and OfferUp and whatever. It's a very frustrating environment. People wanting to haggle with you and lowball you. It's almost toxic. It's almost as toxic as like social media is. It's sad, but yeah, I think overall we had a good year. Definitely the amount of wood that we have in the wood yard, I would say is the most wood that we've had in the backyard. Having expand stacks into my lawn, into my non-usable area here, branching out with species, not stacking as much back in the backyard's shelter because there's so much shade from the trees that the wood wasn't really drying. So I think having to be out here is better. Obviously this is not a permanent area. This is definitely semi-permanent or temporary of how I work this. It's because it's my backyard, but the road's right there. I don't want this area to be an eyesore from the road. So I'm trying to figure out in my head like how to create something that looks decent from the road, so I don't look like I'm the hobo place a bunch of cars and random garbage in the backyard, within reason and with my budget and my time. So I hope that all works out. So I'm still yeah. So for 2024, I think we'll so go forward on the stand. Still sell ICB totes of wood and cords to a few customers I've had, but we'll see how that goes. I do have some maple that's drying right there, so that would be good. But I still have all this premium hardwood maple that's been seasoned for several years now, and this I use to my sauna guy. He really likes this stuff for his sauna that he has in his backyard. So I've been cherry picking the smaller pieces that are smaller for his wood stove, and then they have to be at 16 inches or shorter. So a lot of these pieces are a little bit longer, which works out for my wood stove, but not for his sauna. And it's not cold enough currently in this winter to warrant me burning this good stuff. So this is still going to sit, even though this is quite a huge area to store firewood. I don't want to mix seasoned and non-seasoned wood in this area. I've been burning, as you saw in the episode earlier this week, burning these chunks of wood from the axe throwing. This is the cottonwood which I have, but I've been burning through the spruce and the pine blocks. I think I burned through 2 or 3 garbage cans worth. So I emailed the guy back and said, I believe this is worth my time. So to let me know when he has more, and I'll come in and grab it and go. I think that's a good source of wood that's immediately good to go, like right now, and I'll have it wait. I'm not sure if I would have enough to sell, but we'll see how that all goes. Yeah, so I think it should be a good year. Just keep plugging along. I think there's like an ongoing debate, I would say, on social media in terms of the woodhounds, in terms of like people gloating that they've sold out for the year of wood. People are like, well, why would you want to sell out? Like, you have to always have inventory to pump around, or you'll lose customers. Well, time is a factor, and wood is a factor. Obviously, you can only have so much wood in a yard, and I have kids. I want to keep some of the yard for play, and then the back part that's not really usable, where I can store firewood. So that's just me. I mean, I don't have unlimited space for wood to dry it. I don't have unlimited time to process the wood. The wood that I sell is all sustainably cut. I don't go out to the woods with my chainsaw and cut trees down that are live, that don't need to be cut down. All wood that I sell and burn has already been cut down for whatever reason, but it was cut down, and that's what I burn. So it's sustainable. And even the blocks from the axe throwing place, that was already cut down, milled, kiln dried, and then cut into blocks for the purpose of the axe throwing place. And they were used and then discarded, and then I'm using them to heat my house. So we woke up and it was 37 degrees, so it's too cool enough to start a fire again. And that is a softwood, obviously, but it puts out enough heat where it's not intense, but I can have the air be out all the way and just have it go the full blast, but not have it be too hot where the temperature gauge on the pipe is at max at red. So yeah, so it should be a good year. I'm excited for the channel. We'll see how this goes in terms of growth and momentum, but I appreciate all of you for tuning in, your viewership, your subscriptions. I hope that it will grow with time and grow organically. Some of the older content may not be as interesting, or the footage or the editing is not as good. I'm still learning the process, but I do feel that's fun doing, and once it's not fun doing anymore, then I kind of won't do it. So, and I still feel that I will do firewood. I told a few customers, I think last year or maybe earlier in this of 2023, that I may take a hiatus on firewood to focus on other things, other projects, but yet I still continue to collect wood, and I still continue to process wood. I still make these episodes and the channel is all devoted to firewood, which is very, very niche, but a very close-knit community, and we help out each other, and we learn from each other. So we'll see how this goes in terms of time available, having young kids, having to make sure that I'm available for them and my family. So yeah, we'll see how it goes for the year. Anyway, I'll stop blabbing. So thank you for tuning in for the episode with the delivery New Year's episode, even though you won't see it for a few days after New Year's Day. But thank you for your viewership again for 2023, and here's to 2024. Stay tuned for some episodes. I need to get back into the mini series of the different ways to split firewood. That'll probably be the next episode that you'll see after this one. I'll get a new one in there for you. So should be interesting, should be fun. But yeah, stick around for the next episode, and thanks again, and cheers. Keep cutting.